Yo, 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 what's going on, guys? Joey Schirkenbach is back here with another video for you guys. Today, guys, we are here to talk about the game that we finished watching about a half hour ago. Between the Ravens and the football team. So, again, a win is a win. We'll start with that. Not the prettiest win of all time, but a win is a win. And a complete difference from last year in Week 4 where we got massacred by the Browns. 3-1, love to see that. We needed this win badly. So great bounce back win. Alright, now let's dig into details here. So, defensively, except for the final quarter where just everyone gets tired and it's in garbage time where no one really cares, I thought our defense played very well today. Haskins, again, he had like 300-something yards passing, but I kind of feel like a lot of that was in garbage time, and also, he did not throw a touchdown either, so that always helps. So yeah, we kept him out of the end zone. Our main issue, guys, is pass rush. It's really a problem. You know, Matthew Judon showed up today. He had 2 sacks, easily could have had 3 or 4 if Haskins didn't get rid of it, just held on to it. So Judon played well today. But I think our pass rush, besides Judon really, was really lacking today. And it's worrisome because the football team's offensive line is terrible. And they also did not have Brandon Scherff, their one good lineman today. So that's concerning. Pass rush is really a problem. Again, I've heard a lot of rumors going around. Are we going to sign a pass rusher? Are we going to trade for one? Or are we just going to leave it as it is? I think we definitely need to make a move. I think there are a couple options. We could sign Clay Matthews, but I just don't really think that's a good idea because he's just past his prime. Or we could trade for Ryan Kerrigan, which was something that I'm pretty interested in. Believe it or not, Ryan Kerrigan is on the football team, and he's might be aging a bit, but he's still really, really good, and he could help that pass rush. So definitely, that's hope. But we're gonna not talk about free agency right now or off-season stuff, whatever you want to talk about. We're gonna talk about the game here. So, pass rush was not very good today. Secondary, I think, was okay. Terry McLaurin gave us a hard time, though. I kind of feel like we ran a lot of mixtures of man and zone today, which is okay, but Terry McLaurin was a problem. I kind of feel like we held him in check in the first half, and then he kind of broke away in the second half. Not really sure why, but he really seemed to tear us up in the second half. Sometimes Averett was on him. Sometimes, Humphrey was on him. Even sometimes Peters was on him. I do think one positive thing coming out of today was I thought Anthony Averett played well. Except for when he was on Terry McLaurin, which I know Terry McLaurin's Terry McLaurin, but I thought Averett did a nice job on Logan Thomas, tight end for the football team, and other receivers, I guess Dontrell Inman or whatever his name is. I thought Averett played well today. So he could be a decent slot corner now that I think about it more. It's just he needs to work on his tackling. That's really the only thing he's missing. I think his coverage today, especially in man, was good. McLaurin gave us a hard time, as I said. Offensively. So defense was okay. Not great, but good enough, we'll say. Offensively. I thought overall we played well. Marquise Brown finally had another big game. He had been kind of pretty quiet since week 1. He played very well today. I don't think he quite reached 100 yards, but he almost got there. Let's see. What else did we do? Mark Andrews, great bounce back game. He had 2 touchdowns. That one before the end of the half was sick, man. Jackson rolled out, threw it like on the run on his weak side. Andrews had it in the end zone. That was awesome. I thought Lamar Jackson played well today. Pass protection was a lot better today than usual. It got off to a really rough start. I thought pass protection was great, actually, which is also encouraging because as you guys saw, we did not have Ronnie Stanley today. He was inactive with a shoulder injury. DJ Fluker and Orlando Brown, DJ Fluker and Orlando Brown did a great job covering for him. I think, so they put Brown at left tackle and Fluker at right tackle, but I thought overall we did well with that. Pass protection was good. Run blocking, however, was not very good. I kind of think a lot of times there were holes, and then the line just gave up. They closed the gaps, and we didn't really do that well. Running game was not very good today. Again, the guy who has the most rushing yards besides Lamar Jackson is Gus Edwards because he's Gus Edwards. But I don't know. We're really struggling to get a consistent run game going, which isn't good because that was the complete opposite from last year. I mean, our rushing attack last year was incredible. It's not as sharp this year. And in a way, it's okay, because that means Lamar Jackson needs to throw the ball more, prove the haters wrong. And I thought he threw the ball really well today, but rushing attack does need to get better. Again, Gus Edwards is, my opinion hasn't changed. He is the best running back on the team. He breaks the most tackles, not the most elusive guy in the world because he's a big power back, but he reminds me just like Jordan Howard. Great power back, great ball security, and someone who needs to be used more. And we absolutely need to use him more, guys. Late in the game, his cutbacks, his vision, I'm a huge fan of Gus Edwards, man. We need to use him more. Ingram, again, almost non-existent today. I don't know what's happening to Ingram, but it's worrisome. He hasn't done anything. He had a couple nice runs. I think Ingram's best drive today, anyway, was our opening drive on the second half, where we got a touchdown. Ingram had a couple solid runs on that drive, but he is really off to a rough start, and I don't really know why. I don't know. I mean, our line, we did lose Yonda, which is a huge loss, obviously, because he was probably the best guard in the game. But other than that, nothing changed. I'm trying to figure out why our line is struggling so much. But whatever, it is what it is. Again, guys, it was not the prettiest win of all time, but a win is a win. The main downside to today, besides the pass rush issue, Lamar Jackson threw his first interception of the season. You always hate to hear that. In terms of whose fault it was, I would say it was probably a mixture of both. I think Boykin should have had more awareness of the situation. I mean, he's running an out route, and when you're running out routes, you should expect the ball to be thrown quickly. At the same time, I think Jackson probably threw it a little bit too early. He threw it like before Miles Boykin even started breaking, so the corner was right on top of it. So I would say it was both of them are to blame for it. And it didn't really change the theme of the game. I mean, they got a field goal before the end of the half, which was not good, but we came out of the second half, scored a touchdown, so it really didn't matter that much. So yeah, it was not a big deal, but Jackson was clean through week 3, so it's never nice. It's never nice to hear that, but whatever. You're gonna throw a pick every now and then. Receiving, again, Brown looks better today. He had a nice little bounce back game. Again, I don't think he quite reached 100 yards, but he had like 80 or 90. His route running looks great. His hands are pretty good. I love what I've seen from Marquise Brown. Other receivers, we got Miles Boykin, who obviously has been quiet, had a couple I don't know if he had a couple drops. It's just, you could argue that it was his fault that Lamar Jackson threw that pick. He had a couple nice catches to start the second half on that opening drive that led us into the end zone. Willie Snead was pretty quiet, but he comes up when we need him. That 3rd and 6 late in the game. Jackson found Snead over the middle for a first down. Snead's not going to be your number 1 receiver, but he's decent when you need him. The main guy who we need to use more is Devin Duvernay. He didn't get many targets today, but Duvernay, I like what I've seen. First of all, his hands are excellent. He was ranked in the top 2, I want to say, for best hands coming out of the college class. So Duvernay we need to use more. He probably should have had a big completion. Jackson overthrew him a bit. But other than that, I think we should use Devin Duvernay more. Swap him in with Snead more. He should get more involved. Other than that, I think that's just about it. And the last touchdown was in garbage time where no one really cares. But 31-17, decent win. And when you score 31 points, your offense is doing well. That's totally fine. I think, there were no major injuries today. I know Patrick Queen went down for a bit. I think it was like a hand injury. He jammed his hand, but it was nothing serious. I think Deshaun Elliott was the same thing. Went for a big hit. He jammed. I think it may have been his hand as well. Came back in. So no major injury issues today for either team. So that's always nice to know that everyone's staying clean. And we will take this win, guys. So I think that's just about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It was a great game to watch. Appreciate all the support. And I will see you guys next weekend for week 5 of this season. We'll see how we do. Hopefully there are no COVID spikes this week, but I will keep you guys updated on that through Twitter as well, which I use more. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I really do appreciate it. And I am out. Peace out. Have a great day, and go Ravens.